Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today, we are thinking about happiness. Yes, I hope this episode makes you happy because it should, right? Because that's the point, is to think about happiness. So, luckily for me, I have special guests here, Jeff and Mindy, and we are going to really think about this. So, thank you so much for coming on my show. Let's just dive right into it. When you hear the word happiness, what does that make you think about?
For me, it makes me think about these mind to heart moments, anything that puts you in a state of feeling good. And it's something that you can access at any time by just deciding to decide to access it.
I like that. Deciding to decide. I wish people acknowledge that. To decide to decide. Can you decide to decide? Because not many people have that feeling as if they have that choice. And it's scary to think that there's so many millions of people out there that feel like they can't even access happiness. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. So what do you think is a culprit? What steals people's joy, the happiness in general? Like, in your opinion, what's the kryptonite to that?
I it's fear, but
Fear.
but beyond that, because fear is still like a big concept, or there's so much that is attributed to that. It's more people's unwillingness to get into the moment,
Hmm.
because there's two things that can attribute to happiness. Number one is a smile. You can you can wear your smile all day long. It takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown. So it's even easier. And that's something that makes you happy. And when people see you smile, then they smile and it makes them happy, and you spread that. The aspect of getting into the moment is really key, because anyone could do it. No matter what the situation is, you have a choice on how you're going to respond. And if it's not a comfortable situation, if you actually pause long enough to take a few breaths and really get into that moment, then you're able to think differently. And maybe in that pause, you can do what Mindy likes to call is like put your mind to your heart and think about something that makes you feel good. And then you'll get into that happy state.
Yeah, I wish more people acknowledge that, because when you do pause, it causes you to like recheck yourself. You know what I mean? Like, figure out your surroundings, figure out what's going on. People are so much on go, go, go and just reacting to whatever that's happening. And they're no longer acknowledging what's actually going on within them. They're just on automatic mode. And it's just like, come back. Come back to being human. Come back to just feeling your feelings. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's why I love the fact that you guys acknowledge it in your moment, because and making that decision that that's what you want. Because oh my goodness, when you have that moment when you are surrounded by chaos and you still choose happiness, you really do see the life differently. I was at the store, I was at the dollar store, and the machine went down and there was only one cashier, and the people behind me were all upset, and I was just like, it's okay, it happens, don't worry. And we probably don't need to really go anywhere if we really needed to anyways. And if you guys don't really need this stuff, then y'all can really go. But it's okay. Don't let these people rush you. And the man, he was getting really like anxious, and I could just see it and feel it. And I was just like, okay, it's gonna be okay. As long as one person's on his side, then everyone's gonna be okay. And then as soon as I said that to the people, they like shifted their perspective, and they're like, oh, okay, well, it's not that bad. Okay, so then let's choose to be happy. Let's choose to see the brighter side of things. So
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. Has happiness has always been your goal in your life, or when did you realize you need to choose happiness for yourselves?
Um, for me, I realized it when I noticed that what I thought would bring happiness didn't bring happiness. So I
Mm,
noticed it because originally my goal professionally was to provide a platform for people to transform, love how they look, kind of step into their own superhero, be an artist to their physique. And I
yeah.
thought, that external validation would automatically, and liking how you look would automatically translate into loving how you feel and loving the
Mm,
thoughts that you think. And I thought that that was happiness. And
yeah.
for like many years, we provided this platform for people, and it was doing really well for them to become influencers and to embrace transformation and self-dedication. However, it didn't bring the happiness. So then we said, well, what will bring the happiness? And then we dedicated going back to your question, realizing that it didn't bring happiness. Then we said, okay, so how do we course correct? What is the solution? How do we bring happiness? And we figured out that it's like finding your fame, your inner fame. So like what lights you up, and helping people not love better how they look, rather beyond that, it's how you feel, how you think, how you function, how you act, how you dream and create.
Yes, yes. I think that's beautiful. I think that's all I think the foundation of where you guys started, the motive was beautiful intent. You know what I mean? Because you felt like, oh, maybe it's the image, the outside. But sometimes we do have to reflect and remember it's what's going on inside, because we don't see ourselves. Let's be honest. Unless you're staring at yourself at a mirror 24/7 exhaustingly, you really don't see yourself. People see you, but you feel what's going on in you. You know what I mean? You hear those thoughts. You know those feelings. You know the stories. You know the memories. You know those moments in your life. And when we start to just remember everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, and just add gratitude to it, I think that's when you are able to tap into that happiness, and you won't have a flashback and be paralyzed or have a panic attack. You have a flashback and be like, yeah, that was a good moment. Even if it was bad, you could be like, I conquered that, and I love that fact that you said, you seen the problem, you shifted the perspective. Now let's find a solution. You didn't go into sorrows. You didn't go in, oh, woe me. You know what I mean? No pity party for Jeff and Mindy, No banners and balloons. No. You guys were like, no, there's a way around this, and it represents, you know what I mean? And I think that's what more people need. So I guess, what is the happiest moment in your life that you could remember? That's a hard one. I know with so many happy days, how can you choose just one, right?
One, anytime that I need to get into that space and I want to think of a happy moment. So it's a cool question. It's a memory I have with Mindy.
Yay!
That time that we were like, it was like going into like the bank machine room or something, and I was saying something, and we were talking about how silk is made.
I knew that. I think I knew you were going to say that story.
Yeah. So it's just like this fun story that we had. So yeah,
that was funny.
That's cute. It's funny how you guys already knew without even saying anything. Your minds were already like already there. That's when you know that you guys are one. That is so cute. That is adorable. I love that. So I guess to know a little bit more about you, if you could have any type of superpower, what would it be? And why? Dun dun dun.
your superpower.
I thought you would have known because you're like, you
can't choose reading minds, because apparently you guys already tackled that down.
I just went completely blank, and I know the answer I would normally have. But go ahead.
Oh wait, so now I have to think.
I would have like freezing time.
Freezing time. That's interesting. Freezing time. So not time traveling, but just freezing time. Like whenever you're living the moment, you decide to freeze it, you could just freeze it, absorb it, and then continue to press play, and then your life will continue.
Yeah, like really like embrace that moment, I guess.
Oh, that's nice. And Mindy, you can't take his. What would you choose if you could have any superpower?
Okay, so in this brief moment that I thought about it, I would choose to discover my powers, to notice what my passions are, and to be able to pursue them, to discover my talents and tap into them, and then actually able to produce and create from them. And everything that is within me that I know about or don't know about, to have the superpower to make them appear and allow me to embrace them and pursue them and create and enjoy.
Oh, it's interesting.
Thanks.
That is interesting. That is a superpower. I'll put you in the high-ranking superpowers if that's your superpower, because goodness, that's amazing, because you don't necessarily know everything that you're capable of until you reach that point in life or whatever the milestone is. So every time you reach a milestone, you get a new power because you're ever learning. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Can I steal that one?
You just have it. It's free. Yeah.
Oh,
Everyone.
there you go. It's the thing about it, right? That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I have a quote here, and I would like to know your opinion when you hear this quote. What does it make you think about? The quote goes, "The greatest happiness is to know the source of unhappiness." What does that make you think about? There's no right or wrong answer. It's just an answer.
It's that's the perspective that to only know good, you have to experience bad. It's a perspective of duality when it doesn't need to be that. I think that's one of the big issues that is around always, is that there's so much of it's either one or the other, but it's not. And it doesn't always have to be that there is a negative. People can choose that because it's an easy out, but it doesn't have to be.
Yes, I like that response. That's a good one because you get to really acknowledge the quote for what it is, where someone's seeing it as, and the reality of the whole situation. So that's a beautiful, I mean, if I had a grading system, that would be an A++ of a response because you're really looking at it in a 360 perspective with that response. That is a real thinker because, like you said, it comes back to the beginning of our conversation. It's about choosing your happiness. And if you choose to just focus on the negative, then it's always is going to be one or the other. You're never going to see the beauty that's mixed in between. People don't see that. There is so much beauty mixed in between the chaos, in between the hardships, in between the pain, that when we do focus on one or the other, I mean, one, the negative side, you forget about all the good. People will say, oh, yeah, such and such was a bad year for me. But I'm pretty sure if you really break down each month, you would realize that you had more good than bad. And but people won't do that. And it's amazing because you have to literally stop somebody, force them to really think about it. And that's when they go through that denial process, like, no, 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 no. Do you think denial is an also choice as well?
Yeah, like everything in every moment, you have that ability to make the choice of either positive or not positive. You have that ability. It's whether someone wants to do it, whether they're in this whatever state that's not going to allow them to have that right judgment.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like denial is like clever pretending. So you pretend you don't know, but you do know if you decide to look into it, because you can feel it when you're in denial. You can sense it. Maybe you can hear it. Maybe you can see it. It depends how people communicate within themselves, but and then you're clever pretending, and there's no point to that, because in clever pretending, you're not going to be happy because you're just pretending. So just be your authentic self, mind to heart.
Oh my goodness. Look at you guys, Jeff and Mindy. You guys have I love your responses. It's so real and so valid and so transparent. And I feel like more people need this transparency and this authenticity, if I could say the word. So I'm curious, if you could tell your younger self anything, what would you tell your younger self? That's a thinker.
It would be one that I share, which is dream bigger, faster. Like a lot faster.
And what would yours be, Mindy?
Anything anyone thinks about you or what you think people think about you, it doesn't matter. It's just what you think about you.
Goodness, I wish people could understand that concept, because we project things onto people that people don't even realize that are being projected onto them. And then people are being hated on for thoughts that never, or for words that never actually been said, because people are having full on arguments and scenarios in their head before anything even yeah, and exactly. And I love also how you said like that cover pretending, like it blew my mind, because it is very clever, and we do pretend and we all act like actors when it's like, I believe this is happening to me, but it's like, come on now. Life comes with troubles, life comes with hardships, but that's not all that it comes with. It comes with the beauty. I mean, literally, beauty is right there along with pain and along with everything. I mean, I think of childbirth. It's so painful, but it's such a beautiful moment and an experience that I wouldn't replace or take back or regret in any type of way. And it's just if I'm able to focus on, like you said, that choice of where are you focusing on. Goodness, remember, ladies and gentlemen, focus on what you're focusing. Make this focus on the decisions you're deciding. How you said earlier. Goodness, this is such a good conversation. One last thing. One last
Could
thing.
I, before you go to the last thing, could I
Yeah.
change my answer?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll take it. Well, what would be your answer?
The bigger lesson I would have told myself is to always listen to your gut feel.
Good one.
Always listen. You know what?
Because
That's
every time I've strayed from that, I wish I would have listened.
Yeah. I think that is a good one. I'll take that one. We'll put it in the bank. That's a good one because every time, if you really think back on all those instincts that you had, that you knew in your heart, like, maybe I shouldn't do that, or maybe I shouldn't eat that, or maybe I shouldn't try that on, or do something, or go to that party. It's like, now I gotta, now I gotta reap the consequences to those actions. And I think that's when it comes back down to choices like, okay, what am I seeing in this moment? How can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? But it's like if you can have those moments along with that regret, then it makes those flashbacks like, hey, at least I learned a lesson from it. At least I have the experience to go along with it in my life. So I think that's another beautiful thing to keep in mind. So, what's your medicine? What's your way to calm down and how to like keep you at peace?
I like to get grounded. So find a patch of grass, get out in nature, and just barefoot on the ground, taking in like the energy of the planet, and in that state, doing what I call breath break, and just taking 10 deep breaths or longer, whatever is going to make me feel in the state that I feel good. And attaching it with what Mindy always does, which is take those mind to heart moments. So while I'm in that, and that's what gets me centered or grounded.
That's good. And you, Mindy?
Ditto.
No ditto. No ditto. You gotta choose the original. Yeah.
Well,
or at least change up the words. Trick me. No.
So immediately what I like to do that I feel a complete change is like Jeff said, I just take off my shoes and I just step onto the earth, the grass, whatever. And I step there in the sand, anything. And immediately I feel a different energy sensation. It's like a wave of relaxation that washes through me. However, it didn't always start that way. It came through like a period of practice and doing like what Jeff's saying, that kind of stuff. And like, I did a lot of things to get me to this stage. And once I got here, it's like medicine, because when I step on the grass, it's like, whoa, it's a different energy sensation.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it sounds like it centers you back to ground, to where you need to be to feel back to who you really are, your authentic self, who Mindy is, who Jeff is, and I think if more people remember, like, you may be a mom, you may be a father, you may be a CEO, you may be a boss, a business owner, or a manager, you may be a whatever that you are to so many people with so many labels, but at the end of the day, you are you and you are human. And because you are a human being, you matter, and you need to center your heart, center your mind, center yourself, because you deserve it, man. It's such a peaceful feeling, so I absolutely respect the fact that that's your medicine, because hey, that's better than other people's medicines. Am I right? So I guess as I wrapping up the show, what can be some lasting words of wisdom that you can leave us off with?
The motto of our book series and our organization and the whole initiative we have is dream big, do ridiculous, and achieve remarkable.
Dream big, do ridiculous, and achieve remarkable. That's a good one to think about, because you can literally put that in every stage, in the beginning, in the middle, and the end. Because sometimes in the middle of your experiments of trying to do something, you feel ridiculous because other people aren't supporting you. But then once you're done and you're doing what you're doing, man, you can achieve so many great things. That's a beautiful model. You could stamp it, patent it, put it on a shirt. That is beautiful. I really like that so much. Thank you so much, Jeff and Mindy. And if anybody would like to know more about Jeff and Mindy and want to find out the goodness that they have to offer to the world, because obviously they have so much to share and they're not keeping it into themselves. They want everybody else to feel this happiness, to feel this joy inside because you deserve it. Go check them out. I have their lovely photo on my website. Just right there, click right under it and have all the access to Jeff and Mindy. So with that being said, always, always, always keep thinking, y'all. Bye.